Hello, in this video, I am going to go through the cards that I would include if I was going to build a Jin Sakai Ghost of Tsushima commander deck focused on ninjas, equipment, and combat damage that we can use that Double Strike ability on. First, I want to talk about Noctis, Heir Apparent, white, blue, black for a 2/3. This is coming out in the upcoming Final Fantasy Commander gift set. The legendary creature Human Noble. Whenever a creature you control enters during combat, you may attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. And it has Warp Strike. For 3 colorless, you can exile it, and then return to the battlefield under its owner's control, tap to attack, and at the beginning of that player's next declare attacker step, it can't be blocked at combat. So you can flicker itself. But with the ninjas that you're going to play in this deck, they return a different creature and put themselves into play. They're entering during combat. And then you get to attach their equipment, which our deck is already wanting to do. It's already going to have ninjas, it's already going to have equipment, so this fits in beautifully. One card from Spider-Man that I really like is Imposter Syndrome, where you can make creatures have that ghost ability. Whenever a creature you control attacks a player, if no other creatures are attacking that player, choose one, Standoff or Ghost. And all of our creatures, that one creature each combat, that the one creature that's attacking each player can have the ability. So it doesn't just once per combat. But Ghost, you get copies with Imposter Syndrome. Chameleon can be a copy of anything, including Jin Sakai, because its name is Chameleon Master of Disguise, so it no longer has the same legendary name. So you could have a copy of your commander and be able to choose Double Strike and Unblockable, which is super nice. Grim Hireling, 3 and a black for a 3/2 rogue. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens, and you can sack treasures to deal damage to things, or -X to things. But with Standoff on our commander, each double strike, each instance of first strike damage and then normal damage is combat damage and then combat damage. So you would get 4 treasures, which is great. Enduring Curiosity, same thing. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Double strike is 2 instances of damage, the first strike and the normal, which is phenomenal with Enduring Curiosity. Plus, playing Flash with blue, you can hold counter magic up and then play this if nothing else happens. Great card. Unstoppable Slasher for 2 and a black. It's a 2/3 creature zombie assassin with Death Touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. And whenever it dies, if it had no counters on it, return to the battlefield tapped to owner's control with 2 stun counters. So Unstoppable Slasher deals first strike. If you give it double strike, it deals first strike damage. They go from, let's say, 40 life to 20, and then it does it again. Well, I guess they go from 40 -2 to 38. Because it deals combat damage, so it goes to 38, then they go down to 19. Then normal damage, they go down to 17, and then they would lose 8.5, so 9 life, so they go down to 8. So literally just from 40, making Unstoppable Slasher unblockable drops one of your opponents down to 8 life, which is phenomenal. Sword of Feast and Famine, 3 colorless for an artifact equipment. The equipped creature gets +2/+2 protection from black and green. And whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and you untap all lands you control. So now you have access to tons of mana because you can tap all your lands, untap them if you gave double strike, and then tap them all again. You have to use all the mana during that combat phase, which might be a little difficult, but if you have cards like Enduring Curiosity that have flash, you could flash them into play. But the reason I like it is consistent equipment, and it has a deals combat trigger that would take doubles with the double strike. So great card in this deck. Fallen Shinobi, great ninja card. 3, a blue and a black for a 5/4 creature zombie ninja with ninjutsu for 2 blue black. Whenever Fallen Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top 2 cards of the library, and until end of turn, you can cast those cards without paying their mana cost, which is great. Casting 2 cards in your opponent's deck for free is great. It also says you may play those cards, so if you haven't played a land for turn, you could play either of those cards if one of them is a land. And you know, I always like to think the cards are in your opponent's deck for a reason. So playing those cards is probably good. Swift Foot Boots, 2 colorless artifact equipment. We have an equipment deck where we want to be able to give hexproof and we want to be able to give hasting, double strike, unblockable. Yeah, we need all these things. Buster Sword, 3 colorless for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying mana cost. So let's say you put this on Jin Sakai, it deals combat damage because it's unblocked. Let's say you give it double strike and deals damage. It's a 5/6, so it deals 5 damage. You draw a card from Buster Sword. You draw a card from Jin Sakai. Then you cast something 5 or less or free from your hand, and then it deals normal damage. You draw 2 and put something 5 or less into play. Just phenomenal. Sword of the Animist, 2 colorless, equipped creature gets +1/+1. We're playing an equipment deck. We don't have access to green, so we really want this ramp ability on Sword of the Animist, so that's great. Arna Kennernod, Sky Captain. This is actually a commander I'm working on building. 2 white, blue, black, 4/4 flying lifelink ward, discard card. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. So I really like this commander. Esper is an interesting place for +1/+1 counters. I have a Abzan deck, not an Esper deck. But also creating token copies that are copies of equipment are great, because those token copies stick around even if that creature dies. Now, enchantment auras, they would fall off the creature, but those equipments will stay behind, and you can put those on your other creatures and then give them unblockable or double strike. If you make copies of Jin Sakai with Chameleon or Spark Devil that has different names, you could choose both. And it's also, I just want to point out again, Jin Sakai's ability, whenever a creature you control attacks a player, if no other creatures are attacking that player. So you can have 3 creatures, one attacking each of your opponents, and be able to take advantage of choosing if that creature has Devil Strike or Unblockable. Nashi, Moon Sage's Scion, 3 mana, 3/2, ninjutsu for 4. When it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of each player's library. Until end of turn, you may play one of those cards, and you may pay life rather than its mana cost. Great card. And if you're playing Esper, you probably could put some, life link in your deck and just casting a cheap, removal spell for 2 mana, a lightning bolt for 1, a Swords to Plowshares. Those things are just great for these little increments of mana, and you get to have your ninja thing, which is great. Pure Steel Paladin, 2 mana, 2/2, Human Knight. When an equipment enters, draw a card in the Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. It's going to be so easy to make sure you have enough artifacts from your equipment. You could play equipment lands. You could play the white one and the blue one and the black one. They have the tapped indestructible lands from one of the Modern Horizons sets that you could play as well if you really wanted to dig into the artifact theme and play more Metalcraft stuff. But just a great card. And then giving all of your equipment 0 is great, because again, you're not playing green and orange ramp. Archpriest of Shadows, 3 black, backup 1, 4/4 Death Touch. Whenever this creature deals common damage to a player or battle, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then backup puts a +1/+1 counter target creature and it gains all the other abilities. So even if Archpriest of Shadows can't attack, you could put the +1/+1 counter on a different creature, let's say Jin Sakai, give it unblockable, and then you guarantee to get something back. Let's say you attack with something with double strike that already is unblockable or has flying. Okay, now that creature has double strike and deals combat damage twice, you return 2 things from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is great. You can always put double strike on Archpriest of Shadows. Silent Blade Ani, 3 blue, black, 6/5 Demon Ninja, ninjutsu for 6. Whenever it deals combat damage to play with that player's hand, and you may cast a spell from those cards without paying mana cost. It's great. Plus, you flash this into play, you take something else, you have your ninja theme, and then giving this unblockable can be blocked in the future is just great. Psychic Frog, it deals combat damage, also draws cards. It's a cheap early play. You can discard cards to reanimate or anything else you want to do, and you can exile card to give it your flying, which is evasion. So then you can have a flying creature, you give it double strike, put the equipment on it. Just good build around card. Silent Hall Creeper from Duskmorn, blue 1/1/1, can't be blocked. You don't ever have to worry about that. You always give it double strike, and every time it does combat damage to your player, choose one that hasn't been chosen. It can become a copy of another target creature you control. It can draw you a card, or get 2 +1/+1 counters on itself. So, it becomes a 3/3, then you draw a card, and then it becomes a copy of something you have. But it still has those 2 +1/+1 counters, which is fun. Ashling the Extinguisher, 2 black, 4/4 legendary creature, Element Shaman. It's from, I think this is Shadowmoor, if I remember correctly. We're about to go back to Lorem, so that's fun. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose target creature that player controls, and that player sacrifices it. Give a double strike and get that twice. Delny, Streetwise Lookout, 2 and a blue for a 2 and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature, Human Scout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. But the part I really like is if an ability the creature you control with power 2 or less triggers for additional time. Jin Sakai has 2 abilities and it has power 2 or less. So you choose, a creature attacks alone. Choose one that hasn't been chosen. You get that twice. So you choose Standoff. and then choose Ghost. So now you have an unblockable double strike. And all these cards I keep mentioning that if they were unblockable and double strike, this is a card for you. Rev Tithe Extractor. Drain a black 3/3 legendary creature human rogue. Whenever you attack, target creature gains double strike. But the part I like is whenever a one or more creatures you control deal common damage to a player, make a treasure, then look at the top card of that player's library. You can cast it for as long as you're in exile. All your double strikes and creatures create a treasure every single time they deal combat damage, which is just great. And then you can also just cast those cards. Now you can get lands because it's cast and not play, but being able to cast things at any point of the game, because it is as long as it remains exiled. You don't even have to still have Rev or the original creature that attacked, or like have to have already attacked this turn. Just get them permanently, which is great. Especially in the late game, you just have access to a ton more cards. Madalmai, the Agelets, 4 white, blue, 4/4 legendary creature Sphinx with flying. When it deals combat damage to player, make it take an extra turn. It can't attack during extra turns. But let's be honest. If you have a 4/4 with flying, so it already has evasion, you give it double strike, you get 2 extra turns. It doesn't even matter that it can't attack during extra turns. You have 2 extra turns, 2 more land drops, at least 2 more cards, more combats. Phenomenal. Giving this double strike will be so exciting. Drana, Liberator of Malakir. 1 black, 2/3 legendary creature vampire ally. This also has power 2 or less for Delny. Flying first strike when it deals combo damage to a player for a plus encounter on each attacking creature you control. I keep saying it, but give it double strike, you get plus counters, and you get more plus encounters on your entire army. Virtus, the Veiled, 2 black, 1/1. Death Touch, and when it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Again, give a double strike. If they lose half their life rounded up, they go from 40 to 20, and then they go down from 20 to 10. And I know it deals 1 damage also, but just make it simple. 40 to 20, 20 to 10. Ramses, Assassin Lord, 2 blue, black, Death Touch. Other assassins get +1/+1. Whenever a player loses the game, if they're attacked this turn by an assassin you control, you win the game. 2 things. A, just having the assassin felt very on theme for this guy. But secondly, either you're dealing a ton of damage, a lot of double strike, you're just going to accidentally kill a player with all of your unblockable, and you're just going to kill a player fast. And if this happens to have attacked them, doesn't even say it has to have dealt combat damage. It's just if they were attacked by an assassin you controlled, you win the game. So just on theme, seems super strong. Spark double, make a copy of Jin Sakai, and also be able to have Standoff and Ghost yourself. Cloud, Midgar, Mercenary, white for a 2/1 legendary creature, human soldier mercenary. When it enters, search library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. And as long as you equip, if the ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers additional time. So if this is equipped and you use one of the equipment that's like, oh yeah, Buster Sword, which I think is a sword you told me, Buster Sword, draws you a card and then puts something in your hand, you would get that. It would double it so it happens again. And that deals the other instance of damage because first strike and normal damage from your double strike. So you get 4 triggers. So on any equipment on Cloud that triggers on dealing combat damage that you gave double strike with your commander, you get 4 instances of that equipment's trigger, which is great. Brina, the Demagogy. Whatever. Brina. 1 white, black, 1/3 flyer, legendary creature bird, warlock. Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, if that opponent has more life than another of your opponents, the attacking player draws a card and you get 2 plus encounters. I like this for 3 reasons. A, you're attacking your opponents constantly. You're going to get some rewards. 2, it has flying, so it just needs double strike and the nicer equipment we have. And 3, it incentivizes your opponents to attack each other. And since this deck is primarily trying to win through combat damage, your opponents attacking each other and lowering their life totals is great. Aerial Extortionist, 3 white, 4/3 creature, bird, soldier, flyer. When it enters or deals combat damage to a player, you can already see where I'm going with this. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it. Whenever a player casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. There is so much, A, commanders being played from anywhere other than their hand. But 2, there is so much cards being cast from exile in Commander nowadays, from graveyards, from the top of the library, foretelling cards, all kinds of stuff. So being able to just have a 4/3 flyer, this is where it's double strike, super nice. It's 8 damage every single time with attacks. That's 20% of one of your opponent's life total. 8 is 20% of one of your opponent's 40 life total. Do not underestimate how good Double Strike is. Being able to draw cards and just continuously exile other blockers out of the way is great. Plus, it's non-land permanent, so even if they have like prevention of combat damage, you can just exile the non-land permanent. Get rid of tokens and they're permanently gone. Bounce planeswalkers out of play. Tons of stuff. Grima, Soromon's Footman, 2 blue, black, 1/4 can't be blocked, so you only have to give it Double Strike, and when it deals counter damage to a player, it's great with Double Strike. That player exiles cards at the top of the library until they exile instant or sorcery. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, and they put the rest in the bottom. So if you hit some board wipe and you don't want a board wipe, just don't cast it. But if you draw an extra turn spell, if you draw a draw card spell, a removal spell, a murder spell, taking advantage of those is phenomenal. And you get 2. Orochi, Soul Reaver. 5 and a black for a 5/4 Snake Ninja Rogue. Ninjutsu, 3 and a black. Whenever one or more creatures you control combat damage to a player, create a treasure and manifest the tap card of that player's library. Double Strike makes this card great. The Adele Acquistador? Let me think. Aquistador. 1 blue, 2/2 legendary creature Merfolk Rogue with Islands Lock. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, search that player's library for an artifact card, reveal it, and you may play that card until end of turn. You know, if you get 2 of these triggers, and Island Walk is a form of evasion. If you're playing against an island opponent that has an island, or and there's so many non-basic lands that are also islands, the triomes, the shocklands, all kinds of stuff. Even some tap lands also have just basic land types. So you can get 2 artifacts. You can get more equipment. You can get their Stole Rings, their Mana Rocks. You just have tons of options. Mana Rocks are great because you don't have access to green. You do able to ramp. Gregor, Shrewd Magistrate, 1 white and a blue for a Skulk, 1/3. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its power. It wears equipment super well. It wears Double Strike super well, and it already has the form of evasion. Y'shtola, Knight's Blessed, 1 white, blue, black, Vigilance. At the beginning of each end step, if the player lost 4 more life this turn, draw a card. Just Our Commander's a 2/4 with Double Strike. It dealt 4 damage, and you can draw cards. And then every single time you cast non-creature spells, whether it's counter magic, draw spells, extra turn spells, or equipment spells, 3 or greater, 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life. Single combat, each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control and then sacrifices the rest. Players can cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. Keep Jin Sakai, get rid of everything else. Keep 1 of your creatures and get rid of everything else. Super nice. Writ of Return. Cipher cards are great with Jin Sakai because we have Double Strike and Unblockable. So 3 black, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And you exile this spell and put on a creature you control. And whenever that creature does combat damage to your player, you cast a copy of it for free. Unblockable means you get to do this every single turn. Every turn you get to put a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If you get Double Strike and Unblockable on this, you get 2 things back every turn. With Stolen Identity, you can make tokens that are copies of target artifact or creature. And they don't just have to be artifacts or creatures you control. So you can make copies of your opponent's Panharmonicon or any kind of effect that you like. Make copies of their creatures. If Double Strike and Unblockable, you get 2 every turn. You could probably have token copies of your opponent's commanders. Arcane Heist, same another Cipher spell. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. It also doesn't even have to be the opponent that you attacked. It's just you get to cast something from any of your opponent's graveyards. Genji Glove, 5 colorless for an artifact equipment. Giving creatures Double Strike means you only have to use Ghosts from our commander and make them unblockable. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase's turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Now, it only untaps the creature that the glove was attached to, but if you put this on a really nice, really nice combat damage effect of one of your creatures, it's just you're going to get it twice, and you're going to get 2 more times. Quintus Spike, 3 colors for an artifact equipment, 3 to equip. Equipped creature at Death Touch, and when equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Great. We've already seen 2 cards like this that I would include. Just another nice name of combat damage. The Key to the Vault, blue and a 1 for legendary artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. When Double Strike, you get to cast 2 things from the top of your library without paying its mana cost. And it keeps track of how much damage you dealt. So you do have to hit at least 1 thing you can cast. But if you only deal 2 damage on the double strike and you turn over a 6-mana card, you get to play that for free. So that's nice. Hello of the Host. At the beginning of counting your turn, create a token that's a copy of the equipped creature, except for the token is the legendary if it's legendary and the token gains haste. Tons of things you want to copy in this deck. Reconnaissance Mission, 2 blue enchantment. Whenever a creature you control those combat elements, your player may draw a card. And this one has cycling. Coastal Piracy does not, but we're dealing double strike is 2 instances of damage for every single one of your creatures. 2, 4, 6 cards is great. Super State, 7 colorless, legendary enchantment aura. Enchanted creature you control. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 9/9. It has flying, first strike, trample, and haste. And every single time it deals combat damage to an opponent with double strike hit twice, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. So you even the battlefield. Now you have a 9/9 that can wear plus and plus on counters and other equipment well. It has flying, first strike, trample, and haste. You give it some kind of, you might give it unblockable, but you give it double strike. It deals 9 damage to one of your opponents, 9 damage to the other 2. Another 9 damage, 9 damage to the other 2. Super nice. Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. If you're going to build ninjas, you might as well include this one. Every single time a ninja you control does counter damage to a player, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equals the card's mana value. Even if it's like 0, just drawing a card's great, and you get residual damage on top of it. The Ether Spark, Planeswalker equipment, 4 colorless. As long as it's attached to a creature, it can't be attacked and has never equipped creature does combat damage during your turn. Put that many loyalty counters on it. You have double strike. You have plus and plus counters. You have equipment. This attaches to creatures you control, like puts a plus and plus counter on that creature, so even better with double strike. You get twice the loyalty counters in the turn. You can probably draw 2 cards off of this every single turn, and every other turn add 10 mana, if not every turn if you put this on a big enough creature. Malakar Rebirth, it's just a tap land on one side, but on the other side, it's a 2-star creature you lose life until end of turn. That creature gains when this creature died, turn at the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Want to keep our things around, so I would definitely include it. Slither Blade, 1 blue, it can't be blocked. And these are the cards you need these kind of cards to trigger your ninjas, and you need these kind of cards that's already unblockable to have double strike and wear your equipment well. Necropolis Regent, 3 black, 6/5 flyer. Whatever creature you control those combat damage, your player put down one plus counters on it. If you're dealing double strike, you're attacking with a 3/3 double strike. It deals 3 damage, puts 3 plus counters on itself before it deals the next instance of damage, and now you have 6. So just get the dead really fast. Schema Thief, 3 and a blue. Whenever it goes combat damage, your player make a token that's a copy of target artifact that player controls. With double strike, you get 2 copies of an artifact. That's fun. Blade Grift, prototyped, 5 colorless, 3/2 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target non-land permanent of that player's choice that one of your opponents controls. So every single time it deals damage, your opponent that you attacked has to choose one of your other 2 opponents and destroy one of their things. And if this has double strike, they get to destroy 2 things that your opponents control. Dazzling Sphinx, 3 blue, 4/5 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards on top of the library until they exile an instant sorcery card. You can cast it for free. With double strike, you get 2 of their top instant sorceries. You saw a card already like this. This is just nice because it also has flying. The only one's unblockable, so it is better. Ancient Brass Dragon, 5 black. If you want a top end card to play, I love this one. 7/6 Elder Dragon with flying, so it has evasion. And if this has double strike, when it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. If you do, put any number of target creature cards with total mana value, X the last turn creatures onto the battlefield under your control or X the result. Double strike, that happens twice, which is great. And of course, the other dragons also have combat damage effects, like making 1/1s and drawing cards. This one is just like the one that I think is the strongest of those. Wand of Orcus, 2 black. Whenever a equipped creature attacks or blocks, it ends zombies you control being death touch. Whenever a equipped creature does combat damage player, create that many 2/2s. Then the 2/2s, you get that many more 2/2s with double strike. Sword of Hearth and Home, 3 colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and have protection of green and white. Whenever equipped creature does combat damage to a player, exile to 1 target creature you own. Then search the library for a basic land card. Put them both under your control and shuffle. If you have nice end of the battlefield effects, you could take advantage of that. If you just want to bounce something that didn't have vigilance and now it can be a blocker, but you're not playing green, you need access to more lands, and this can ramp you, and it's double strike, it can ramp you twice, and unblockable could just guarantee these combat damage effects go in. Blood Forged Battle Axe, 1 colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature is combat damage to a player, create a token card with this copy of it. So I keep repeating myself, but all these double strike, we get more and more copies. You can keep putting them on things. Super nice card. Reliquary Tower. We're going to draw a lot of cards. every single time Jin Sakai deals combat damage, every time your piracy effects go off, and all of your others Buster Sword effects go off, you're going to be able to draw cards. I understand that playing colorless lands in a 3-color deck is a little suspicious, but I think you could probably swing it. Rogue's Passage, same thing. This can give unblockable, so then you can just focus on Double Strike with Jinsaki. Shitsu, Death, Storehouse, taps for a black. It comes in play untapped, and then for black, tap, target creature control gains fear. Can be blocked stuff by artifact creatures and black creatures, so you can use this to make something almost unblockable, and if you're playing against a deck that just doesn't have access to black or artifact creatures at a time, this can be your evasion, and you can just focus on getting Double Strike. Cathedral of War. Now, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, Jinsaki does say whenever a creature you control attacks a player, if no other creature attacking that player. But sometimes you're only going to have one creature attacking, and Cathedral of War can just put some plus and plus, put a plus and plus and counter bonus on that. But for the Double Strike, Access, Tunnel, 3 tap, target creature you control with power 3 or less can't be blocked. Like I already said. Creeping Tar Pit. These are creatures that this is a 3/2. It can't be blocked, so you can just focus on giving a Double Strike and attack one of your opponents and deal them 6, and the landslide is great. Those are all of the cards that I would include if I was going to build a Jin Sakai Ghost of Tsushima deck. You let me know your thoughts on this deck tech in the comments below. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and may your top decks be ever in your favor. Thank you.